Well, Oregon versus Texas Tech preview here, Chris. What do you were very high on Texas Tech coming into this year.
You're gonna do it. You're gonna do it, aren't you?
No, I'm not. I'm not even trying to troll you over there. But I know you had this circled, if I remember right, as one of your trap games.
Yeah. Well, I lost $500 on this game. Not this game, but Texas Tech in particular. I'm pretty fucking pissed off about it, to be honest. Tech is a 6.5 point dog, which is actually kind of surprising the way they shit the bed against Wyoming last week. They were up 17-0 in that game, or excuse me, 17-0 at the end of the first quarter. Tech was. You let Wyoming hang around. And I'm not saying Wyoming is a complete trash team. That's not what I'm saying. But you get beaten double overtime, fuck around, and get beat by a couple points. You know, Tech right now, I was very high on. I had them as a dark horse Big 12 contender this year. I clearly was wrong. They look like dog shit, especially on defense. Tyler Schlau, who is obviously, if anybody doesn't know, he's an Oregon transfer. He played QB there. Kind of ironic he's going against his old team. Was 90% of your goddamn offense. They couldn't run the ball. He was 31 of 47 for 338 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Not a bad game, but he also had 36 yards rushing, which pretty much led you running backs. That's a problem if you're Tech against a Wyoming team at Wyoming. Defense is also going to have to get better here. We know what Oregon brings to the table offensively. Bo Nix, I don't need to talk about him. He's been around college football for at least 100 years. We watched him at Auburn. Christian knows what I'm talking about. Also, the penalties. You look like Nebraska, 7 penalties for well over 70 yards. It's not going to get it done either. If you're Tech, if you're going to come into this game at home against an Oregon team who we know is very, very good. I think they're well coached. They got to clean up the mistakes if they want even a chance in this game personally against an Oregon team. Christian, I'll kick it back over to you, buddy.
Yeah, Chris, I mean, Oregon beat the shit out of Portland State. It was 81-7. Let me just say this.
Who's Portland State again?
They're an FCS school. And they look like it. So they don't even play this level. I mean, let's just be real there. Bo Nix in the passing game going to be even better this year. Taking it to a whole nother level, I got a feeling, Chris. Bucky Irvin, I'm going to give you a stat line. I don't know if you're ready for it, Chris.
All right, what do you got?
At 119 yards and 2 touchdowns on 4 carries.
Say that again?
119 yards and 2 touchdowns on 4 carries.
It's like 40 yards, 35 yards a carry. Jesus.
Yeah.
Holy shit. That's impressive. Against Portland State, which is like playing me, you, and 9 other randoms.
I think they'd have had a better shot, if we were playing out there, man. Maybe even reffing. I don't know.
Yeah.
The defense to me, Chris, I know it was, obviously we'll talk about this here in a second, but the defense to me might be one of the best in the Pac-12, if not the country, dude. I mean, this year, Dan Lanning, second-year coach, defensive-minded guy, mastermind probably to, the first Georgia, national championship, I would say, on the defensive side of the ball. Was that coordinator for that, one of the best defenses of all time, or whatever you want to call it, in 21 Georgia.
Yep.
Not trying to start that argument again, but let's be honest, Chris. I mean, they did exactly what they should have done against an FCS school. So we're going to have to see what they do against a motivated Texas Tech team this week. What's your final? I mean, yeah, dude. I mean,
you have to be right.
Right.
You can't go off 0-2 if you're Tech, and high implications this year.
Well, I almost wonder if this is what I almost wonder if you're Tech is. Were they reading some of their own press clippings? Didn't they kind of get just caught, by Wyoming, and they just got surprised?
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of the way I look at it. It was a very sloppy game, and it's like, could Tech come in here and still? I mean, that would be the most Texas Tech thing to do, right?
Right. But you know what, Christian? Not this year. Not so fast, my friend. Here's my prediction. You asked for it. I'm very big on Oregon this year. I don't care who they played last week. It didn't matter to me. If this was their first game of the season, give me Oregon 49-27 in a shootout for about the first half. I think Tech is going to have to throw the ball like almost every down. I don't think they can run the ball from what I saw. I watched that Wyoming game, by the way. I was texting you during that game. I said Tech has 0 offense out of throwing the ball. on hitch routes, and they didn't. You know, they hung around, but that was against Wyoming. We know Oregon's defense is better. The only reason why I got Tech scoring 27 is because they're going to have to be able to score some points at some point. I don't think they have an answer for Oregon's offense. I don't. Bo Nix is a well-oiled machine. Dan Lanning's a hell of a coach. Give me Oregon 49-27 in this game. Bank it.
Man, well, we might disagree. We might disagree on that.
Don't tell me Tech's winning this game.
Well, I'm not going to tell you that, but what I will tell you is I don't think Tech scores 27 points in this game.
Okay.
I got Tech 14, Oregon 45 here. So Oregon 45, Tech 14. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, still an ass whooping either way you look at it. I mean,
yeah.
Okay.
I just think, like I said, I mean, it still gave up 7 points to an FCS school.
Yeah.